The world watches in horror, glued to their screens as the relentless conflict unfolds. Russia's invasion of Ukraine grinds on with no end in sight. Cities lie in ruins, reduced to rubble and ash. Millions of innocent civilians are displaced, forced to flee their homes in search of safety and shelter. The conflict has entered a brutal new phase, marked by increased violence and devastation. The human cost is staggering, with countless lives lost and families torn apart. Russia has now unleashed a new weapon on the battlefield, the 2S-7M Malka Howitzer. This powerful artillery piece is capable of delivering massive destruction over long distances. The 2S-7M Malka Howitzer is a testament to Russia's evolving military strategy, showcasing their commitment to overwhelming firepower and technological advancement. Its deployment marks a significant escalation in the conflict, signaling a new level of intensity and danger. The battlefield has become even more perilous for those caught in the crossfire. The Malka 2S-7M is designed to obliterate enemy positions with overwhelming firepower, leaving little chance for survival. Its sheer destructive capability is a game-changer in the ongoing war. Its arrival in Ukraine has sent shockwaves through the Ukrainian military and its allies. The sudden introduction of such a formidable weapon has forced them to rethink their strategies and defenses. The stakes have never been higher, with the potential for further escalation looming large. The world watches anxiously, aware that the outcome of this conflict could have far-reaching consequences. The international community condemns Russia's actions, calling for an immediate end to the violence. Sanctions have been imposed in an attempt to cripple the Russian economy and force a change in their aggressive stance. Despite the crippling sanctions, the fighting continues unabated. The resilience and determination of both sides show no signs of waning as the conflict drags on with no clear resolution in sight. The world holds its breath, bracing for what comes next. As the situation evolves, the hope for peace remains, but the reality of war continues to cast a long and dark shadow over the future. The Malka 2S-7M is a monster of a machine, a true behemoth in the world of artillery. Weighing in at over 46 tons, it is one of the most powerful howitzers in the world. Its sheer size and weight make it a formidable presence on any battlefield. Its 203mm cannon can hurl projectiles over 30 kilometers, delivering destruction from a great distance. This range allows it to strike targets that are far beyond the reach of most other artillery pieces. This is not a weapon of precision. Instead, it relies on overwhelming firepower to achieve its objectives. The Malka 2S-7M is designed to obliterate everything in its path. Its primary purpose is to deliver massive amounts of explosive force to a wide area, ensuring that nothing survives its onslaught. Its massive shells create craters the size of houses, leaving behind a landscape that looks like the surface of the moon. These craters serve as a stark reminder of the Malka's destructive power. Entire city blocks can be reduced to rubble in a matter of minutes. The Malka's firepower is so immense that it can level buildings and infrastructure with ease. The howitzer's primary targets are Ukrainian military positions. It is used to disrupt enemy operations and weaken their defenses. Ammunition depots, command centers, and troop concentrations are all vulnerable to its devastating firepower. The Malka can cripple an enemy's ability to fight by destroying their supplies and leadership. But the Malka's impact extends far beyond the battlefield. Its presence alone can instill fear and demoralize enemy forces, knowing that such a powerful weapon is being used against them. The psychological effect of the Malka 2S-7M is as significant as its physical destruction. The Malka 2S-7M has already left its mark on the conflict. Reports from the front lines paint a grim picture. Ukrainian soldiers describe a relentless barrage of artillery fire. The howitzer's shells rain down with terrifying power. The psychological impact on Ukrainian troops is significant. The constant threat of bombardment takes a toll on morale. Soldiers speak of the fear and uncertainty that accompany each passing moment. The Malka 2S-7M has also had a devastating impact on civilian infrastructure. Hospitals, schools, and residential areas have all been hit by its shells. The human cost of the conflict continues to rise. The evidence of the Malka's destructive power is undeniable. Satellite images reveal the scale of the devastation. Once thriving cities now resemble ghost towns. Buildings are reduced to rubble. Streets are littered with debris. The city of Mariupol stands as a stark reminder of the howitzer's power. Once a bustling port city, it is now a wasteland. The Malka's shells pounded the city for weeks, leaving behind a trail of death and destruction. The images are a chilling reminder of the human cost of this conflict. Behind each destroyed building, there are stories of loss, displacement, and unimaginable suffering. Section 5. The Ukrainian counteroffensive, a test of firepower. Despite the Malka's firepower, Ukraine refuses to surrender. Ukrainian forces are mounting a fierce counteroffensive, pushing back against Russian advances. The outcome of the conflict hangs in the balance. The counteroffensive is a test of both sides' military capabilities. Ukraine's success hinges on its ability to neutralize the threat posed by the Malka II S-7M. Anti-artillery systems and drone strikes are crucial to countering its firepower. The international community has rallied behind Ukraine, providing military aid and humanitarian assistance. The flow of weapons and supplies is a lifeline for the embattled nation.
Section 6. Beyond the battlefield, the global implications. The conflict in Ukraine has sent shockwaves throughout the world. The global order is being tested. Alliances are being redrawn. The war's impact will be felt for generations to come. The conflict has exposed the fragility of peace in Europe. It has also highlighted the interconnectedness of the global economy. The war's impact on energy prices, food security, and supply chains is felt worldwide. The international community is grappling with how to respond to Russia's aggression. Sanctions have been imposed, but their effectiveness is debatable. The search for a diplomatic solution continues, but the path to peace remains elusive.
Section 7. A looming shadow, the threat of escalation. The conflict in Ukraine has raised the specter of nuclear war. Russia's nuclear saber-rattling has heightened tensions. The world watches nervously, hoping to avoid a catastrophic escalation. The use of nuclear weapons would have devastating consequences, both for Ukraine and the world. The international community must work together to prevent such a scenario from unfolding. Dialogue and diplomacy are crucial to de-escalating the situation. The world cannot afford to let this conflict spiral out of control. Section 8. The human cost, a symphony of suffering. Amid the geopolitical maneuvering, it's easy to forget the human cost of this war. Millions of Ukrainians have been displaced from their homes. Families have been torn apart. Lives have been shattered. The war's impact on civilians is particularly heartbreaking. Innocent men, women, and children are caught in the crossfire. They are the true victims of this senseless conflict. The international community must provide humanitarian assistance to those affected by the war. Food, water, shelter, and medical care are urgently needed. The world cannot turn a blind eye to the suffering of the Ukrainian people. Section 9. Resilience and resistance, the Ukrainian spirit. Despite the immense challenges they face, the Ukrainian people have shown remarkable resilience and determination. They are united in their resistance to Russian aggression. Stories of courage and defiance emerge from the front lines. Ordinary citizens have taken up arms to defend their country. Doctors and nurses are working tirelessly to save lives. Volunteers are risking their lives to deliver aid. The Ukrainian spirit is unbreakable. Their determination to defend their freedom is an inspiration to the world. Section 10. The uncertain horizon, a glimmer of hope. The future of Ukraine remains uncertain. The conflict shows no signs of abating. The path to peace is long and arduous, but even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. The international community's condemnation of Russia's actions offers a glimmer of hope. The outpouring of support for Ukraine is a testament to the power of solidarity. The Ukrainian people's resilience is another source of hope. Their determination to fight for their freedom is an inspiration to us all. Their spirit will not be broken. Section 11. Seeking peace, a call for diplomacy. In these challenging times, the world looks to its leaders for guidance and resolution. The conflict in Ukraine is a tragedy for all involved. The devastation and destruction have left deep scars on the landscape and the hearts of its people. It is a stark reminder of the human cost of war. Families are torn apart and lives are disrupted, creating a humanitarian crisis that echoes across the globe. The international community must work together to find a peaceful resolution to this crisis. Diplomatic negotiations are crucial in bridging divides and fostering understanding. Dialogue and diplomacy are the only way forward. Through open communication and mutual respect, we can pave the way for lasting peace. The world cannot afford another protracted conflict. The economic and social repercussions would be felt far beyond the borders of Ukraine. The stakes are too high. The potential for escalation threatens global stability and security. The consequences are too dire. Innocent civilians bear the brunt of the violence, facing unimaginable hardships and loss. We must urge our leaders to pursue every avenue for peace. It is their responsibility to exhaust all diplomatic options before resorting to force. We must demand an end to the violence. The voices of the people must be heard, calling for an immediate ceasefire and a return to negotiations. We must stand with Ukraine in its hour of need. International solidarity and support are vital in these trying times. The future of peace and security in Europe hangs in the balance. The decisions made today will shape the world for generations to come. Let us choose the path of diplomacy and peace.